Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in again.
Yes, it's that time of the week again where we bring you the best of the good life.
The good life, good vibe. I mean the good everything. I feel good.
Okay, why are we feeling good today?
Look, I'm just happy, okay? Is anything wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
But you can go on and tell them exactly why I'm excited though.
Okay, and that is because today on 54, it's time to get those taste buds rolling. In studio, we heat things up with singing chef Joël Samuel Kapepula, and we take a trip down Route 44, where good food is teamed up with lively tunes and brilliant company. So be sure to stay tuned.
You see, now the thing is, with this food, things get totally marvelous.
I mean, you're such a typical guy. I can't,
Look, don't judge me. You know exactly. I've seen you pack a thing or two.
We don't need to talk about that. That's for another show right now.
I thought so. You see what I mean? But let's get straight into it. I feel like today's show is going to be one heck of a treat, though.
Web developer, fitness model, entrepreneur, singing chef, and Jesus lover. Ooh, what a package deal.
Let's get cooking. See what I did? But anyways, let's know more about Joël Samuel Kapepula.
Oh yeah. Well, Joe, I'm 24.
Yeah?
25, I lied. I'm 25.
Still getting used to the 25, I see, yeah.
I know, it's a new year. I'm 25,
Yeah.
moved to South Africa about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Congo. I came to study. I have a 1 degree in computer system.
Nice.
And I'm actually completing my 2nd degree in software development.
Sheesh.
I love training
You love
and I love
studying.
cooking, obviously.
Okay, so where did that love come from?
Oh, wow. I think from a young age, I just had this thing about cooking. Most of the time, my mom will actually get me to taste most of the stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't know how it started, but like somehow, at some point it just started.
Okay.
And then from a young age, I just kind of loved it, but I was never allowed in the kitchen cooking. I was allowed in the kitchen just tasting. So I was just like everybody else. So little by little, obviously after years, I just started loving it. And I just love seeing them preparing everything, my mom and my grandma, and I just loved it. And I found it so intriguing that the simplest things will just make the most amazing meal ever.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. And that's just how it started. Like, I think I was 5 or 6, that's when
Wow.
it just started developing. And then until I got to my teenage years, and then moving away from my parents' house, then I started cooking myself.
Nice.
So I had to apply all of that I've learned. So,
Sure.
yeah.
So would you say your mom and your grandmother were
Yes.
your inspirations in the kitchen?
Yes,
Nice.
they did.
And
They
now
inspired
you
me.
have something called Joel's Table.
Yes.
What
yes.
is that? I need to know. I think Mom kind of knows,
Like-
but I know nothing. So you need to tell me straight, what is Joel's
I
Table?
did my research, you see what I did?
I don't do that to me. I just no. I made sure that he would tell me live right now, so you know.
Oh wow, Joel's Table started actually with just a bunch of us just hanging out. So what we'll do is every Saturday, a couple of my friends would just come over at my place and we'll
Okay.
have brunch together. I'll
Yeah.
cook, they eat, because they love eating.
I
and
mean, you're the
love
best friend to
cooking,
have.
yeah.
Hey, you have to
Who
have someone
doesn't
like
love
you.
eating?
Right?
I mean, I have a spot for you, so. And it was just this thing that we did every Saturday, and we just come along and we just eat. Every single time I'll just try different things. And then one day we were just hanging out in my living room, and then a friend of mine, one of my best friends actually said, imagine if this was called Joel's Table and all our friends came along.
Wow.
And that just, like, we all laughed. And then we just kind of like the day went on, but I love the name, but the idea was already there in my mind because for years I was already planning and I wanted to do that, but I was just kind of waiting the right time for the right time to happen. But like, yeah, I just love the idea. That's when the name came about, and then that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna name it Joel's Table one day when I have a restaurant.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. So right now, what we do is we have every first Saturday of the month we have a hangouts, and yeah, I just cook food, and every single day I just kind of create new recipe, post them online. I have a website about that, and it's just kind of this journey of from how I started cooking up to now, and then like basically opening a restaurant. That's pretty much Joel's Table in a nutshell.
What would you say, how did cooking have an impact on your faith?
Oh wow, that's a really good question. I think with cooking, there's things that you can't neglect, there's things that you know about, and obviously it's a process.
Yeah.
And I love that our life and our faith, it's actually a process also.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things I've learned about cooking is don't rush things. Because it's a process, you have to be really prepared. Like, you have to be prepared to commit to the process, and then just kind of like, okay, getting everything behind the scene done, because you just can't have a perfect meal at the end.
Yeah.
You have to start with the imperfection, you have to start with all the ingredients, and you shouldn't rush things.
Yeah.
So if you have to put, you know, the brownies in the oven for 15 minutes, it actually is 15 minutes. And I love that with my faith also, I feel like it's exactly the same thing. Because sometimes when you become a new Christian, you just want everything to happen. Or sometimes when you have a promise, you just want to see the fulfillment.
Yeah.
And like just trusting that process and believing like, okay, in due time it will happen. And the other thing that I've learned also is like, never underestimate the power of your personal life, and then obviously your personal tools in the kitchen. Because we have like, okay, you can't use a spatula to take up like a baking tray. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to use a glove.
Yeah.
So, and I love that in our faith it's exactly the same thing. We have tools that we've been given to just kind of help us in our journey in our faith. And that's pretty much one thing. I pretty much kind of relate to that. It's kind of simple for me, but like for me, it just kind of makes the perfect sense that, okay, just trust the process and then use the tool that have been given to you to just kind of grow that. So yeah, pretty much.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
Now, what would you say is your favorite dish in the kitchen?
Oh, wow.
Do you even have
to
one?
make, right? I know.
They all taste like your favorite dish.
I know, right? Favorite dish, definitely. I don't know, but I have this thing for waffles.
Oh.
I love waffles.
All right.
To the point where I actually came up with 6 different recipes for waffles.
Just for waffles.
Because I just wanted to try
Just
them.
for waffles.
I know you bake them and
it's
that's about
crazy.
it.
So I love waffles, but my favorite, one of the first things I actually learned to cook really well was Spanish dish. I love Spanish dish. I learned to make nachos, to actually make enchiladas and
I love enchiladas.
quesadillas and all those different things. I've learned them, and I actually love Spanish. And I have a soft side of me that love actually French cooking. I just love it. So it's like
That's the winning one. And
I have to be part of this
I had
table.
some chicken and waffles the other day. I was scared, but I was scared, but yeah, it was.
It actually tastes great. I love them.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I love waffles.
Now, is this something that you've messed up in the kitchen? Because this sounds also perfect that even we girls who cook, we're like, oh snap.
Yep.
So has there been anything that
I
you
feel like
kind
the
of
patience came
messed
in
up?
more when you flopped.
I actually have 2 funny stories. So I think it was like 5 years ago. Me and my boys, we just, every Friday we have FIFA night. We just play video games because that's what boys do.
Apparently so.
So, and at the time I was just kind of getting really bad at cooking. But on that day I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make chicken because it's a bunch of boys. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make some chicken. So the oven wasn't working properly. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna fry the chicken. So I spiced it up and then actually turned it on, but I used a different oil. It wasn't a frying oil. So as soon as I put it on and I left it for too long, I was like, okay, the boys are hungry, I'm gonna make it very fast. So I put it on the highest heat ever. And as soon as I put it on, and then there was some water actually with the chicken.
Oh no.
So the whole thing just kind of exploded. And it was literally like 2 or 3 meters away from where everybody was playing soccer. Like we were playing FIFA. So it was like the most horrible experience ever. The house was like in smoke. We had to open the windows. We had to stop playing
Thank
FIFA.
goodness you didn't burn the whole place down.
No.
For someone
And it was my house, so I was
that's
gonna
even worse.
I'm sorry, I'm the worst friend. But so I had to learn to just kind of like, okay, getting back to the basics, studying the right oil, what to use. And then just kind of like, that's one of the story. The other one was just way too embarrassing. But like, I'm not
We'd
gonna
love
tell
to hear
it.
it. Come on, Joe.
You can't just tease us
You
like
can't
that.
tell us 2 and you give us 1.
Wow, okay. Well, since you asked for it. And I was making brownies. It was funny enough, I recently learned to make brownies the American way because it's just kind of like, there's a twist there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make these brownies. Like, this is the day. And I got everything, like all the ingredients were there, but somehow I actually turned the heat again to the highest heat like you do because
What is wrong with
This
you
is
and
the
the high
patience.
heat?
This is the patience thing he keeps talking
just
about.
wanted to
This
go
is
so
why
quick.
patience.
now
is
it makes sense how I've learned patience. So I put it on and then I went back to my business. I was like, okay, it's fine. They say 15 minutes, but you know what? Because it's on the highest heat, I'm actually gonna make it 12. So I'm just gonna cut down on the 3 minutes because obviously I have like 30 more, degrees Celsius more in there. So I put it on, but like I actually didn't put the tray like right in the middle. I put it closest to the top. So 8 or 9 minutes later, I just came like everything everything was just like smoking. It was just bad. And I opened the brownie was so dark, it was ridiculous. And I was like, okay. And funny enough, I just trying to get, I'm like, okay, maybe I just have to like remove the top part.
Layer, yeah.
But like, it wasn't like everything underneath was messed up. And like,
Oh, goodness.
anyway, I had to restart it. But then I got it right the second time. And after that, I was like, okay, man, it's fine. And
I'm coming for brownies now. Now you know.
Actually making
I know,
some
I'm
this
coming for
weekend.
brownies.
So,
Is it? I'm
Hey,
there.
I need some. You can't leave me out of this.
No, I
okay.
won't.
All right.
I'm coming
Now,
there.
is there any advice you have for those who are watching in case they want to do what you're doing, pursuing what you're doing in any way? Is there any advice you have?
I think when it comes to dreams, the biggest thing obviously is just kind of being patient. And also, and I think one thing I had to learn was just kind of trusting the process and also not be too scared to take risk.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the biggest thing in our generation, I think, at least. And I was just kind of reading an article recently, just kind of they're interviewing those guys who were, like all those guys were above 95 years old. It was ridiculous. But like 9 out of 10 would just say, I wish I've taken more risk in my life. Sure. And I feel like that's one thing I was really afraid of because yet at the same time, I had I had this passion and I had this gift because I really consider it as a gift, obviously. But I was just too afraid to take the risk. And I was just like, I didn't know until one day, about 2 years ago, what happened is I was actually really sick. We had our annual summer camp and in 2015 in February, and I actually got really sick. I was rushing to hospital and I found out that I had a kidney disease. I spent 10 days in hospital, but the thing is, within those 10 days, I actually felt like every single day was my last day. And I felt like it was just kind of this ridiculous thing. And I actually really, because every single day when the doctor would come to me, they actually have like the worst idea, like the worst news ever.
Yeah.
Like the diagnosis was just kind of getting really bad. And I felt like, oh man, if I ever had to get alive here, I'll just pursue more my dreams. And that's how it started. And I feel like that's one thing because as soon as you get to a point where you become too afraid to take a risk, you'll never do anything.
Yeah.
Your dream will just be this idea that you have in your mind and like it's never gonna work out. So just kind of be wise also about that. Seek wisdom around people like who've done it before. I have friends who have their own businesses and I watch things online. Like in our generation, that's a great thing about our generation.
Yeah.
There's so many resources online.
Yeah.
And there's also, not all of them are true, but like if you just do your research and just kind of trust people and then bring people along the journey, you'll be amazed what you can do. So I think that's pretty much one thing I'll just say, because you know what, looking back now a few years later, realizing like, oh man, like all of those things are working out now. And I could have I could only dream, but like, obviously God knew everything.
Yeah.
But for me to look now, I'm like, okay, that moment was a defining moment for me, because as soon as I came out of hospital, yet it was a journey, but I realized and I actually resolved in my heart that I would pursue my dreams wholeheartedly. And that's what I did. And now to look back, I'm just amazed. So I pretty much just say to all the guys like, hey, just pursue your dreams. Yeah. And because they're there for a reason, God placed those dreams in your heart.
True.
And you've been given everything that you need. Sometimes finance becomes a little bit of an issue, but hey, just start small, write things down. Yeah. And just kind of, because when you look over them, you can see, okay, these are the steps that I can take. And this is all the things that I can do to reach to my destination. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing. Yeah.
He's a wisdom. 25 and he can teach a
Bars
35-year-old
right
what to say.
Yeah.
Anyways, but though, this is the defining moment. This is where
I'm getting nervous now.
This is where we see if your cooking skills match up to your knowledge skills, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So we have a quiz called AfriQuiz on the show. Yeah, so we're going to test you on Africa.
Oh, wow.
We're going to test you how well you know your continent.
Oh, wow.
Obviously,
doesn't help that I'm African also, but anyway.
Yeah.
No,
give it a try.
Don't worry.
It helps. You know, it actually puts more pressure on you that you're African. You have to know. I mean, you know what I mean? So out of 10, how much do you think you can?
I think I'm gonna go for, I'll be bold, I'll go for 8.5.
Okay,
Let's
all
go
right.
for it.
So we're gonna go
Let's
head
go.
over to the game and 8 over 10.
8 out of 10.
All right.
We all know Africa is the second largest continent in the world, made up of 54 countries. So choose a piece representing a country. You will then be tested on your knowledge, and if your general knowledge is less than general, we will help you out with some clues. Your score will then be added to the 54 scoreboard, and the aim is to try and remain at the top of the board.
All right, Joel, now this is an Afri quiz.
Okay.
All right, now what's pretty much going to happen is that we're going to pick a country, or you're going to pick a country.
Okay, great.
And I'm going to ask you 10 questions that you need to answer in 60 seconds. It's
Wow.
fast paced, you gotta, just gotta give it to me.
68 seconds?
No, 60 seconds. You've got
Okay.
60 seconds.
All right.
And we know we want to reach for kind of like 10, move it up the scales a bit, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I can do it. Let's
Okay.
go for it.
Now, is there any country in particular you are excited for that you really want?
Definitely DRC right here.
Because that's an easy one.
Yeah, no, because I just love it. Maybe Angola,
Okay.
but I don't know.
All right, so what's going to happen is that we're going to show you a wheel and
Yeah.
you have to pick the country. Well, you have to say stop. That's what
Okay.
happens. You're just going to say stop. It's going to land in the country and then we're going to start the game. Ready? Are you
I'm
excited?
nervous.
Don't be
nervous.
I've been in your position before, actually. Yeah.
Really?
So just, breathe.
I'll do better than you.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Okay, let's go
All right,
for
let's
it.
see. All right, so all you have to do is say stop.
All right,
Let's go.
give it a try. Stop.
All right, so it's the beautiful country of Kenya. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Come now.
I'm sweating.
It's not DRC, it's not Angola, but we can do this, right?
Okay, let's
All right,
see.
so remember,
Right.
10 questions, 60 seconds, high pace. Let's
All right.
go.
All right, I'm
so
ready.
we are starting. Hold on, let me get my things right. There we go. We're starting now. What is the national language of Kenya?
Swahili.
Yes, what depicts at the center of Kenya's national flag?
Oh.
What is, yeah. Okay, should we move on?
Yeah,
Next.
move on.
All right, Ethiopia is one of Kenya's neighboring countries.
Yes.
True or false? Coffee is one of Kenya's major cash crops.
Yes. True.
Kenya has a population of 100 million, 13 million, 48 million.
48.
True. True or false? Uhuru Kenyatta is the president of Kenya. True or false?
False.
False. Kenya's currency is shilling, kwacha, or Kenyan dollar. Do you want to pass? Do you want to pass?
Ah. False.
All right, the former US President Barack Obama's father is from Kenya. True or false?
True.
That's correct. What is the capital of Kenya?
Nairobi.
Correct. In which part of Africa is Kenya? Is it in the east, southern, or west?
Southern.
All right, let's see what else. Okay, what is depicted at the center of Kenya's national flag? Rising sun, a boot, or a shield and spears?
Shield and spears.
Stop. That's correct. It's correct. I think you did good. Okay, let's see how many you got. You got 7! That's amazing!
I wanted 8, but
No,
anyway.
well, you didn't beat my score per se.
Oh.
I'm still the reigning champion,
Oh.
y'all. Still the reigning champion.
Okay,
but 7 is
okay.
amazing.
Wow.
7 is amazing.
Thanks.
You've been such a great sport, but that's not all. Check this out.
Now that was a lot of fun.
Tasty fun. I loved it.
But that's not all, right?
Oh, hell no. The fun never ends right here on 54, especially when there's good edible food around.
Exactly. Guys, did you hear that? That's what I was listening to. Did you hear? I told
know
you
what?
she is as bad as me when it comes to food.
You know what? Moving right along, we went on a road trip recently.
An unforgettable one, and that was down to Route 44.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what that is, well, check this out.
Route 44 started 4 years ago. We constructed Route 44 to have a venue on Audacia Wine Farm so that we could get people to actually come to the farm, but it's grown much bigger than we thought it would be in the beginning. When we started off, we were thinking mainly of having a small market, but it's evolved into a place where going forward into the future, we want to create an environment where entrepreneurs can start businesses. The biggest problem in South Africa is young people, especially people that want to start a business, cannot do it in the formal sector. So this is an opportunity for entrepreneurs to actually come and start small businesses.
That is awesome. Do you have any last words that you probably want to say for people around about Route 44?
I think the message I'd like to convey is that this is a place that's going to be the ultimate craft market where people can come with their children, their family, friends. We have a run here called the Park Run every Saturday morning where people bring their dogs, cats, you name it. But it's just a place for families.
3, 2, 1, Park Run. Have fun, guys.
Tyree Richardson, how was the run for you? What was the experience like?
It was more difficult than expected, but I think I did a new personal best, so that's a good thing.
Gugu, how was the experience? I see you very tired. So, how was the experience?
No, it was awesome. It's always great to come here. I didn't get the time that I usually come out third, so today I wasn't feeling so fit. But it's never a waste of time. It's always good to come here.
Okay, cool. I'm here with the amazing Chris who oversees Parkrun. It is really happening over here. But Chris, my man, tell me, how did Parkrun start?
Yeah, so Parkrun started in the UK by Paul Sinton-Ewart. It started as a time trial. And then those people running the time trial moved away. They all started their own park runs in their towns. And then Mr. Bruce Fordyce brought it to South Africa. And from there, it just grew to about 97 park runs in South Africa.
Snap, that's cool. So what's the motivation behind Parkrun? What do you guys hope to gain out of Parkrun?
Yeah, so Parkrun really is a community event. It aims to get everyone active, from your family to your weekend warrior to your elite athlete. Everyone can come down, have a good jog, a run, whatever you want to do.
Okay guys, we've come to the end of it. It's been a crazy journey. Fun-filled, packed with a whole lot of fun, from sports to lifestyle to food. Yes guys, all of it right here on Route 44. I'm about to head out soon, but I'll see you on the other side.
How fantastic was that day?
Yes, guys. The best about having chefs on the show is that we get to indulge.
Overindulge? Dieting is good, but that too. But we'll leave that for another day.
Well, that is it from us today. I trust that you guys had an amazing time. How could you not have an amazing time? And after all of this, I know you guys want to snack on something.
Yeah, and if you want a recipe, just let us know. We will be happy to share. But before we go, I do want to leave you with this. It's 1 Corinthians 10 verse 31, and it says, whether you eat or drink, whatever you do it to the glory of God.
Preach! Preach it, Pastor. I said, preach it, Pastor, preach it. Preach it, Pastor, preach it. Preach, Pastor, preach. Pastor, preach it, Pastor, preach it.